All right, what is up, traders? What's up, tycoons? Super excited for today's video. I got a bunch of charts I want to show you guys. Okay, we're going to talk about some hydrogen energy stocks. Okay, so this is kind of along the clean energy plays. We're going to look at fuel cell on a weekly time frame, looks very good. We'll also break down plug on a daily time frame and then also a weekly time frame, so you get a good idea of what it is that I'm really looking at and the potential in these two plays. But as always, the content provided on this channel is for informational and educational purposes only, and is not intended to be relied upon as legal, financial, or investment advice. So please be sure to read through the disclaimer. And if you're brand new to the channel, I actually wrote a completely free newsletter for you guys. It's called Investment Intelligence. I just started it about 2-3 months ago, and I'm giving out free valuable content as well as free trade ideas to you every single week. I will try to sprinkle in 1 to 2 free trade ideas, highlighting the conditions as done above, and then showing you guys the chart itself so you know what it is that I'm looking at and the conditions we're looking for. And many of these trade ideas have worked out very, very well. If we just take a look at some of the most recent newsletters, right, we have Rivian ran up over 40% after the time of the newsletter. PayPal ran up over 10% after the time of the newsletter, and Teladoc ran up over 14% after the time of the newsletter. All of these were sent out to all of the newsletter subscribers completely for free and were some really good trade ideas. It's all about quality over quantity when it comes to the investment intelligence newsletter. I'm not going to be spamming you every single day with 5 to 10 different penny stocks or different trade ideas, bragging about 1 or 2 that hit, but rather looking for high quality setups that I can provide to you all. Now, if you want more than just 1 or 2 free, trade ideas and, different type of plays, you can always join now for the Investment Intelligence Discord, right? We talked about Teladoc. Okay, look how much that play ran up. We talked about PayPal. Look how great that play did. But we didn't go over Chewy. We didn't go over Palantir, Carnival Cruise Line, SoFi, or Toast in the newsletter. So, if you want access to all of the different stocks that I'm looking at, all of the different analysis, different trade ideas, go ahead and sign up for that newsletter using the link in the description. That's where you'll get access to all of the custom scripts, indicators, chart layouts, and different analysis and trade ideas. Now we'll go ahead and get it right into the video. Start off here with fuel cell on the weekly time frame, and here's what I like about it. Okay, is we have a nice rounded bottom. I really like a nice rounded bottom. Okay, now on top of that, if you take a look, we have old support. Okay, becomes resistance and becomes resistance. So it's a very textbook style of support and resistance at the moment. And if we can break above that 177 level, it looks pretty promising. Now, above there, we are going to face a little bit of resistance right here at $1.96. But ultimately, I think if we can do something like this and get above that 196 and break above this long-term downtrend that we have, that's really been going on since the summer highs in July, there's lots of potential for this play, right? 219 is going to be the next price target, and then 252, above 252, we can look for potentially a 100% retracement all the way back up to 294, right around that $3 price range. And really, if we get above here and we're able to flip basically $3 from resistance to support, ultimately you would be looking for a higher move up back to the $4 range, okay, closer from 4 to 450. And at this point, our 200-day moving average, or 200-week moving average rather, that we're on a weekly time frame, would start curling down closer at this point and would be aligning very well with that 450 area price target. So lots of potential on this one. Now, if we were to get a pullback, this could potentially set up a cup and handle. So as support levels, you want to pay attention to 159, 147, 138, and 129. Those are going to be the key areas of support that I'm looking at right now. One thing that I do like is that we've already broken out on the RSI. So the RSI often can be a leading indicator. And so being that we've broken out on our RSI, it could be an indicator that potentially in the future, we are going to break out on the candlesticks, right? On the chart itself. We also got a bullish MACD crossover right here at this point in time. And you can see the stock has already traded very nicely up to that 177 level. And really that's going to be the line in the sand for us, okay? Above 177, we're going to be bullish. right? And look for some of the price targets up above. And below 177, we'll be looking for support levels down below that we listed. So that's fuel cell. Okay, it's a hydrogen, fuel cell company. You have Plug Power, which is also in the same sector, same area. And if we start off here on our daily time frame, I want to highlight all of the gaps on the chart. Now, the gaps are going to be these bright blue boxes. Okay, so these gaps, they tend to fill about 90% of the time historically. The big question is when. Okay, when are these gaps going to fill? Sometimes it takes days, weeks, months, and potentially even years for gaps to fill. 2022 was obviously a very strong bear market. And what we actually saw in many stocks and many names was them coming down and filling down gaps that they hadn't filled for over a year. Right. And so a lot of those gaps ended up getting filled in 2022. And now in 2023, approaching into 2024, I'm looking at a lot of names that have potential into 2024. And so when we take a look at Plug, there's a gap all the way up here above $12. Currently, it's at 450. So that's almost 3 times the current share price. Okay, not exactly, but very close to it. Now, that, of course, there's a lot of work to be done before we get there. So that's not our main target that we're looking at. Right now, what I really want to see is this a bear flag forming at the moment? Or could we potentially be trying to put in a bottom? And if we are, I'd really like to see us break above this bullish channel that we're trading in right now. If we can break out above and fill this gap up here to $6, that's going to be a bullish signal for me. And then at which point we would look for the breakout and then retest of this former trend line here. Resistance, we look for that as a retest of support to potentially push up higher towards the $7 region and then the $8 region. Okay, so that's really what I'm looking at on Plug on a daily time frame, right? Of course, we do have the gap up here to about 1050 to fill. All right. But if we take a zoom out and just take a look on a weekly time frame, we're very close to getting our MACD crossing above the white line right here. If this happens, that would be known as a bullish MACD crossover and could signify the move that we are looking for with the breakout, retest, and push up higher in the price of the stock. So that's something that I'm really going to be paying attention to when it comes to, Plug and really just the whole hydrogen fuel cell sector and kind of space as a whole right now on a weekly time frame. It's not super strong, but it does appear we are getting a very textbook breakout of this trend line. We have here and here we hit, and then here we broke out and we wicked down to it on the weekly chart, and we did actually close a little bit above. So we'll see if we get some follow through. All right, if this was to pull back further, we have those support levels, from the daily time frame as well as this trend line here, and ultimately we can just look for further retest and then ultimately the push up higher. So Plug is showing some very promising things right now. Fuel Cell is showing some very promising things right now. Let me know what other stocks that you guys think I should be paying attention to heading into 2024 as we approach the new year. I'm putting together a really big watch list of a bunch of different stocks. So if you enjoyed today's video, you're really going to want to subscribe to the channel because I've got about 20 names that I'm going to drop that are really, really interesting before we head into January of 2024. So you want to be prepared and don't want to miss out on those opportunities potentially in the next year. If you enjoyed today's analysis and you ever feel like you ever need that one-on-one personal touch, maybe, some of the things I explained in today's video, you kind of understand, but you don't really know for sure, or maybe you want to know how I draw some of my supply and demand zones, Fibonacci's, trend lines, different things like that. You can always come to my Ko-Fi page using the link in the description. Click on the commissions tab and you can book a 30-minute or a 1-hour coaching session. I do those all the time. You can also click on this buy a coffee button. It's basically a way to leave a tip or donation for the free valuable content that I put out, such as these YouTube videos or the Investment Intelligence newsletter. Okay, so don't forget to sign up for that. You'll get free trade ideas directly to your inbox once or twice a week. Okay, and as we went over before, many of these trade ideas have worked out very, very well. The reason it's 1 to 2 a week is because I'm choosing quality over quantity and really trying to look for high quality setups. And don't forget, if you want to, you can just go ahead and join the Discord itself using the link in the description below. And that's where you'll get access to all of the different trade ideas, analysis, custom scripts, indicators, as well as over 35 chart layouts.